Welcome to the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. They do it all at 108th and Kedzie. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver.
Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Pointless Exercise Podcast. We're going to talk about the Cubs after the trade deadline with Oleg and Praz.
Hello, hello.
So neither of whom were traded, although I can't say I didn't try.
I don't know. There's a guy on the Cardinals who looks just like me, and I've proclaimed my love for the Cardinals on this podcast many times.
He had 3 home runs yesterday, too.
3 homers last night, and then they gave him the night off.
Did they?
Not helping the tank, apparently.
Hey, just like Kevin Alcantara.
Yeah, thanks.
Kevin.
Thanks for the home run. See you later.
Right.
A whirlwind 4 hours in Chicago and then back to Iowa.
Yeah.
How did you like Jed predicting before the game that Alcantara was going to hit a homer? Did you hear that?
Oh, did he? I didn't.
I saw that when he was in the booth.
Yeah, he told Craig that because Alcantara had gotten there just before the game started from Iowa, not because he was too lazy to get to the park like Dan Bernstein thought this morning. He told Craig, he said, he'll probably get a homer. And then he hits that long foul ball, and they're like, oh, you almost hit one. And then 2 pitches later, he hit one. Mm-hmm. Boog's like, you never see a guy hit a foul homer and a fair homer in the same at bat. I think we've seen it.
Yeah,
that's doesn't happen a lot, but we've everybody's seen it.
There's a guy that used to play right field from 92 to 04 that did that quite often.
And it's not really a foul homer.
No, it's just a foul ball.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also not a foul tip into the glove.
Yes, I was just going to say, is Huey, if you're listening, are you more offended by foul tip into the glove or foul home run?
It's nice the Cub fans are booing Kyle Tucker for reasons. I don't know why.
Are they?
Like, yep. And it got louder last night at bat to at bat. Like more of them just decided, like only a few did it the first at bat, and then other fans were like, "Oh, this seems like fun." It's like, how many of them knew A, why they were booing, or B, who they were booing? Boo! Who are we booing?
Right. Unless that's mostly traveling Dodgers fans that are booing him because of how bad he's been this year.
Yeah, I don't remember who I heard say that. Like, we don't know if it's Dodgers fans or Cubs fans when Kyle Tucker.
How many homers did he hit at Wrigley last year? Because he just hit one down.
Wow.
Anyway, so yesterday was the trade deadline, and sometimes the trade deadline is not all that exciting. But yesterday, not only did the Cubs make several trades, but there was it felt like there were more trades than normal yesterday. Does that seem right?
It felt like it. I don't think
it did feel like across the league, and also with the Cubs, this is applicable too. You didn't get as many really until the night before and the day of, really. That everything seemed to happen both on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, and I think that's a function of so many teams being so close to the playoffs,
right?
That they all kind of waited until the last day and then finally went, you know what, fuck it, we probably should sell a few guys.
Right.
Yeah, there's a few teams who are pretty close to the playoffs and still ended up selling. Like the Nationals aren't awful, and they got rid of
Luis Garcia, one of the best hitters in the National League this year.
And then the Blue Jays traded Kevin Gausman and then traded for Jose Soriano.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they think they'll be good next year.
Yeah, they basically traded for next year.
Yeah.
Right.
But for this year, they really bolstered their staff with Jameson Taillon.
They needed. They were worried they weren't giving up enough souvenirs into the outfield.
Right.
Yeah. So they want to make sure that people came to the game.
We got to start him on Fan Appreciation Day. Everybody gets involved.
Toronto had one of the more interesting deadlines of anyone in baseball, just because they kind of both sold and bought at the same time with the Jose Soriano trade, and but also Gausman and Jeff Hoffman. You can say that they sold by getting Jameson Taillon.
Huh. Well, they needed
Dalton Varsho too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Varsho also moved. That's right.
I was wait, what did they trade Barsha for? He just walked across into the visitors clubhouse.
Houston.
Right. Oh, for Arrighetti for that pitcher. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he just walked across to the visitors club, to the home, whatever. I don't know if they're in Houston.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
There was some buzz too that like the same thing would happen with George Springer now that like the Astros kind of have been on a rise and they've got themselves into first place, that they would want to have a reunion with George Springer and that would happen as well too.
Well, I mean, we haven't even mentioned the biggest, the player, like the most important player traded yesterday, to the Padres, and that was Gage Workman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He was traded yesterday.
He's like, damn it! I just bought a place in Toledo. Yeah. Been here for 5 years in a row. I bought a house. He traded me to the Padres.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. I laughed when I saw the name. I'm like,
yeah,
do you really have plans for him? Or
right?
Like, how does that happen? Like, somebody with like, does San Diego say, "Well, we also want this guy"? Like, how does his name get brought up in a trade? Is it like, take this guy? Like, it's not like he's making money.
Yeah, it's almost like the Padres traded like their AAA third baseman in another deal.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Hey, we need somebody to play third at wherever. Can we have Workman? Sure.
El Paso, I think, is where there is.
The Chihuahuas?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Chihuahuas.
So the Cubs, Jed went crazy, and now the Cubs have too many pitchers.
Too many pitchers.
Yeah.
Now what are they going to do?
It's legit a logjam.
Yeah. Now
almost like they expect some of them to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, I like it. They're a better team. I don't like. They have guys who can start, who you could be confident of in starting playoff games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Clay Holmes, assuming he can still put weight on his both legs, was one of the best pitchers traded at the deadline.
I think so too. The dude has like a 60% ground ball rate in front of that Cubs defense. I mean, Peterson's been great the last 4 starts. He had that one.
He's only
clunker.
had the one bad one against the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that was it.
One clunker.
It was, give him credit. That one was bad.
Yes.
But yeah, he's been fine. And he took out the Brewers in his first start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been funny if they could also get Freddie Peralta and rolled into the playoffs with 60% of the Mets rotation.
Yeah, but I like both these moves. I just do. They're perfectly fine, and they're they're not getting Cy Young candidates, but they made good moves. They're a better team now.
It would have been nice if the Twins actually chose to go in the right direction and sold and made Joe Ryan available, and the Cubs could add him.
Yeah, but like it's fine. It is. They got I think that there's the long term. Like, I'm just looking at this for this year. Like, you want to get as far in the playoffs as you can. The Dodgers are certainly beatable. They're not invincible no matter what their pitching looks like. And so like, go into the playoffs and see what you can do. And I think that they have a team, they have a defense that's good enough to do that. If they get some guys back in the bullpen, and getting the starters means that Colin Ray and Javier Assad could be pretty good bullpen guys now.
So the biggest move they made was the other guy they got in the Clay Holmes trades. They got Tyrone Taylor.
Yeah.
Now, best known, I think, for making the second to last out in Alec Mills' no-hitter.
Yes. Brought this up on
Bugs
the
last
last night.
No.
Jace Peterson.
Oh, wow.
Quite a lineup that the Brewers rolled out.
Yeah, clearly.
Which kind of explains how Alec Mills
Mills was able to.
Right. Dansby Swanson's brother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw it on Monday night and now on Tuesday. So 2 is a trend, right? Is it?
Okay. What do we see?
Back-to-back lefty starters for the Dodgers. No Ian Happ in left field.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yes.
Meaning that he is now, it should have happened 9 years ago, but all it took for him to become a platoon left fielder was to hit 158.
Yep.
As a right-handed batter. At some point, wouldn't you just have given up the right-handed batting? Like,
yeah, you mentioned
don't you think it somehow hurts his left-handed? Like having to try to maintain two swings, they're not the same. You tinker with one, and you probably feel like you start to fuck up the other one. And he's never been any good at it. It's like, just knock it off. Yeah. Well, they kind of have forced him now to knock it off because they're just not going to let him do it.
I don't know if we've recorded since then, but I feel like the last straw for him hitting righty against lefties was the last game in Pittsburgh, the last one that Jameson Tyone would pitch for the Cubs, when he represented the final out against a lefty and struck out. And the Cubs at that time still had their full bench available. Like, I think that day Bregman didn't start. And you also had like Miguel Amaya and Justin Dean, and they chose not to pinch hit for Happ with any of those guys. And it almost felt like the reputation he's built with all the gold gloves that he has, they kind of use it as a crutch to keep him in games, whereas they would rather not pinch hit a guy, have it be tied and go to the bottom of the ninth, and then you got to plug in, say, Justin Dean into left field.
I mean, it's to the point where when he bats right-handed, and actually he's hitting so poorly all around that left-handed, when he comes up, you're just hoping he walks. It feels like that's the only positive outcome.
Right.
He comes up with a runner on first and less than 2 outs. You're like, just either strike out or walk. Just don't hit a double play.
Yeah.
Which he's good at. I think the real test, I think this is clear progress that Craig is like, I'm done with this shit. The real test will come in a situation like that, late in a game, if they actually pinch hit for him. Like, not starting him against the lefties is one thing, but actually in a big spot going, nope, you don't ever come through. We've got to sit you. That's kind of like, that's like the last straw. That's the last thing that has to happen, because he's a baby kitten up there batting right-handed. It's a waste of time.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You might as well just send him up without a bat.
A pull
you go, see what you can do. I can't. I want to be able to swing. Yeah, that's the idea. Just,
you know who?
Maybe the pitcher will laugh too hard and throw strikes.
You know who would have a really high on base percentage if he didn't go up to the plate if he went up to the plate without a bat these days is Pete Crow Armstrong. The way that he's become like kind of like 2016, 2017 Chris Bryant, where he would flip a lot of like 0-2, 1-2 counts into walks like that lately.
I think he might need the bat.
He might need a bat, yes.
I think when I don't know if you're going to turn 0-2 into 4-2 if you don't have a bat, because
that's
seems
true.
Like most pitchers would know.
You probably want to foul off some pitches. Yes, that's right.
Well, no, just the threat of actually hitting one might force a pitcher out of
this.
The
is
zone.
true. This is true. I'm just thinking back to that one video that came out like 10 years ago, like the Barry Bonds without a bat thing, if you remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete is just incredible, man. I mean, I love like seeing his stat cast.
Yeah. I mean, his numbers as a leadoff hitter are insane.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember when Craig moved him there thinking, okay, is this like one of those, let's kind of just shake the lineup up and see what happens? And it's like, well, he's been doing it for like 70 games now, and he's got like a 420 on base or something when he leads off.
Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And Seiya batting second, he's pretty good. And then Pedro Ramirez batting eighth, and then nothing else. But that's fine. That's all you need.
Yeah, like Pedro. I think that was the
right
reason
spot.
why, I think that was the other reason why they were comfortable trading Ballesteros. Is I mean, there's not. You're kind of right. There will be a spot next year, but I'm hoping they can at least try to upgrade that.
Yeah, I mean, my issue with the Ballesteros thing was you traded him at a low point of his value because he had struggled.
Yep.
And it just feels like you didn't need to do it. Like there had to be something else.
This kid they got, I mean, this pitcher is really like, this dude's good. This is exactly.
I'm saying I think you could have made that trade without him. Because when the Angels have the same, like, well, he doesn't really have a position. They're going to try to catch him because they got Logan O'Hoppe. It's funny how pissed off Angels fans got that they traded Logan O'Hoppe. He's like, have you seen him for the last 3 years? He's fucking terrible.
It's almost a situation where, like, if Jefferson Rojas was the piece going to Anaheim for Zephyr John, I think I would have been okay with that. And then, like, you have Ballesteros go to the Mets for Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor, because Rojas would have been blocked here no matter what, behind Swanson, Horner, and Bregman. And then, you're at least getting like a very high upside pitcher in Holmes for Ballesteros if he had gone to the Mets.
Yeah, but how does that make it different? If you trade both guys, why do we care which team they send them to?
Well, I'm just saying it would have made more sense value-wise, I think.
I don't.
For what you got in return.
No, I would say it went the other way, because Zephyr John is around till 2030, where Holmes is. I would guess that one of the reasons the Cubs excuse me, traded for Clay Holmes, they obviously need him to pitch this year. I think he's a guy they would have been after in free agency.
Right.
He's kind of there.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of a chance to check him out and have them check them out.
Yeah. I think the other thing is this kind of goes into your selling low thing at his lowest value rather. He's been bad at AAA. Like, whatever happened, whatever the pitchers have figured out, however to get him out, right? Because it's obviously what happened. Like, pitchers just figured out where to pitch him. That sort of continued. And I don't know if the Cubs just lost faith in him making those adjustments, or he's not taking to whatever it is.
I don't know. The thing I didn't like was the idea that because Owen Ayers is become a legit catcher prospect.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how that has anything to do with it, because I don't think the Cubs felt
I don't think it does.
Moises was really a catcher.
I just think they have to. Wouldn't they both
be able to exist?
They really wanted this guy, and I think that maybe the Angels just wanted. I'm not.
They did.
Yeah, I don't think I'm very. Like, we'll see what this Zephyr John guy does, but I don't like. I'm not as upset about losing Ballesteros. I'm not that upset about losing Rojas either, but I think that Rojas probably has more value.
Yeah, well, I never saw Rojas actually play.
Yeah,
so I'm not too attached.
I mean, it is funny to
read the reports on him. Like, all the reports are he can hit.
Right, right.
But he's really not a shortstop. He can't. Right. He's not gonna. In fact, he already isn't a shortstop. Yeah. He's playing third.
Yeah,
and that he might not be a third baseman. He might be a fielder. And so that just his value. Obviously, if his bat at a shortstop is a tremendous value, his bat at third is lesser, and his bat in the outfield is less than that even.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But if he hits, and apparently he can hit.
And he'll be blocked at shortstop in Queens too.
Yeah, but it doesn't if he's not going to play shortstop, that doesn't matter. Like, he
they need they've given up on Vientos, and I don't think Brett Beatty's all great. He can play third base for the Mets.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, Rojas might end up being a really good ball player, and this might end up being Crow in reverse.
The trade I was thinking of is the other notable shortstop that the Cubs traded to a New York team would be Gleyber Torres. That could be the equivalent. Because remember, Gleyber Torres was like very highly touted when he was in the minors with the Cubs.
Sure. So, but I mean, if everything works out great for the Mets side of the deal, with Rojas.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I also think that people don't regret the Gleyber thing.
No, not at all. And I don't regret this trade. No.
Also, I mean, Gleyber's been a good player.
Yeah,
but
he's fun.
He's had one great year, and that was the year he hit 13 homers against the Orioles.
Yeah.
It's still amazing.
And with a juice
13
homers
ball too. Against one team.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got now your rotation right now, although the Cubs were smart. Javier Assad is taking on Tarek Skubal. Best on best.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is some order of Holmes, Gossman, Boyd, Shota, and
Peterson.
And then Mr. Ed is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have 6 until Mr. Ed gets hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
Or David Peterson falls down the stairs, or who knows what's going to happen to these Cubs. Yeah. So I thought one of the smart thing Jed did was don't just go get the bare minimum. Don't get one. We need one starter because we're getting these guys back, to the point where they even made a trade for an extra starter. Like, we sent Bryson Garrett to Iowa, and he's down there. And I was kind of thinking if he makes starts for the Cubs this year, something's gone terribly wrong.
Right.
Now, if he goes down there and they're like, "Ooh, we'd like to have this guy in the bullpen," that's a completely different thing.
For sure.
But if he comes up to start, it means 2 of these guys got hurt again, and or Ben Brown. I kind of figure if they get anything out of Ben Brown, I would guess it's going to be back in his kind of like multi-inning reliever thing, which in the playoffs started the year. Great. Like,
they have a bunch of guys now who can do that role.
Yeah, but he's the one.
And Ray and
he's the one you most would like to have do it in a playoff game.
100%.
Like Colin Ray coming out and pumping it up 87 for 2 innings. It's a little scary,
right?
And honestly, you know who I feel bad for? Those people at the corner tap at Cascade, Iowa. How the fuck are they supposed to get free beer now that he's going to be pitching 1 inning at a time? It's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Boog can really beat something into the ground. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Cohen's guilty of it too. I mean, what wasn't it last year that like it was him that took the like road trip to Cascade, Iowa for a Colin Ray start?
How fun. Could they have left him there? That would have been fun.
You know what I realized about Alex Cohen is I kept calling him Josh. Like
Josh Lewin?
No, it's because it's just something he reminds me of every single Josh I've ever known at Jewish day camp.
Do they talk with their eyes closed too?
I was going to say, you probably knew a Josh Cohen there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Every single Josh. He's so bad. What I got to start taking notes when he says something that I want to bring up here because it's like I'm like I'll remember this and then I never do. He's just so bad.
It's funny. I don't. The reason I don't like make fun of him anymore is because I literally don't. I can't listen to him.
Yeah.
When he does a game, I watch it without. I do not listen to him. I can't. He's just. I had to go through 7 fucking years of Chip. I'm not doing that again. And that's who he very much reminds me of. Just a lot of babbling. It's like, can you maybe have one unspoken thought during a broadcast?
I think when he's not with JD, he's better because there's no awkwardness there. But obviously, you want to keep JD part of that broadcast, so you wouldn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if he's better because without JD, then it's Sutcliffe
or Dempster,
or I feel like Cliff Floyd would hit him at some point during a broadcast. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
What happened? Don't worry about it. Hi. Oh, well. I do like the JD hanging him out to dry, though. Never gets old. Just
yes.
Like he'll ask a question, like, do you? He'll cue up this long question about, So when you were a pitcher, did you guys think of things like, same side seam weight, some bullshit thing? And Jim will go, nope. Okay. He was kind of counting on you filling a good 30 seconds and you didn't. So now he doesn't know what to do.
Hey, JD, can you tell the story of the last game you ever pitched and how you knew it would be the last game you ever pitched again, for the millionth time? Yeah.
For the Yankees, right?
No. It had to be a National League team. It had to be a National League team. It was against the Cubs in '95.
Oh, that's right.
Because it was in Chicago.
He started with the Yankees, and he joked that when he left one game, he was going to just put his coat on and leave because he knew he was getting sent down. He wasn't even going to bother to shower. Just throw the coat on over the jersey and just head for the bus stop.
Yeah, it was with the Phillies. Okay, Phillies in '95.
Oh, that's right. And the wind was blowing out. I remember this now. He got up and looked, and walked out of the hotel and went, "Oh fuck, I think it's over today," and it was.
Huh.
Right.
So let's see. They've got.
Sorry. Back to the rotation. I had a quick thought. I think the cool thing, and maybe they will go to a 6-man rotation. I mean, it'll shorten up the bullpen, but maybe it'll preserve a bit of Shota so he can be better in October.
It could. And he's like the one. he's the one guy. Well, Peterson has made every start because he made every start for the Mets.
Yeah.
But they're the only two that haven't had like breaks
Right.
during the season to rest up. I think that's part of the appeal of Clay Holmes too, right? Like last year was his first year as a full-time starter, and he was really good, but he wore down at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, he hadn't been. Well, this year he's only got 52 innings on that arm,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think
Gausman starts every fifth day.
that's true. And although he had a lot of short starts in June and July,
Yeah.
his ERA over 7. But it is funny. I wrote about it. When I read the quote about Jed talking about the regret they had in 17 when they didn't trade for Verlander, and then in 18 when they got Hamels, and being like, well, that's when I learned if you get a veteran pitcher out of a bad situation, you get a rejuvenated pitcher. And I'm like, well, it's easy to do that with the 2 Hall of Famers.
Right.
I don't know that it counts to Kevin Gausman, but let's hope it does. Let's hope you're right.
Right. Although, where's Kevin Gausman at? Did he pass the immortal Harold Baines line of Hall of Fame candidacy?
Oh, that's a good question, but I don't like. It's not worth talking about.
I got
Kevin Gausman as a Hall of Fame.
No,
will he? Well, we're not going to have the Willie wear a Cub C on his hat on his Hall of Fame plaque.
Well, in the utility tunnel of fame, he will.
Cubs Hall. Yeah, will he make the utility tunnel of fame?
Right.
What would he have to do this year to make it?
Win Game 7 of the World Series.
He didn't win Game 6 last year. He had a chance.
Yeah.
There we go.
He gave up 3 runs and they lost 3-1.
Yeah.
Way to choke, Kev. It's funny. He was very good on the 21 Giants when they had that ridiculous 107 win team. And I remembered how the Cubs had been rumored year after year after year to get him. That was when they were
just going to bring this up. Yeah.
When they were in, hey, the Orioles, well, let's find the next Jake Arrieta. Like, they were after Dylan Bundy for a while. I remember that. Except he was getting hurt, and they're finally like, yeah, that's not going to work. And Gausman was like the next guy where they're like, the Orioles fuck everybody up. Let's get him and fix him. But I remember there's kind of a flaw, I think, in Jed's recall of that, because they had 4 chances to get it. Like, he went to the Braves and the Reds and the Giants. And
Gausman was on the Reds?
Yeah.
19.
For not very long. Yeah. Half a season, maybe. So he multiple times he was just kind of out there free.
Yeah.
And they didn't get him. So it's like, well, how hard were you really trying to get him? I don't know. But
This
he
does-
was a guy that a lot of teams were like, there's a lot of talent there. The Orioles fuck it up. Kind of like
He was like the 4th pick in the draft. It was a high pick.
This does feel like, I mean, maybe there have been other examples in the past too, but like, this does feel like the one time the Cubs ever got like their like white whale player that they've been rumored to get for years. Like, remember with like Brian Roberts and Jake Peavy and, all the guys in the Hendry era that they were rumored to be getting, Well,
I don't know that Gausman's not he's obviously past his prime. I don't think I'm talking out of school when I said that. So it's not quite the same, like I don't know that, like getting those guys in their prime was the thing, right? Like Brian Roberts was going to be a clear upgrade. Like it's getting an all-star. It's getting, Jake Peavy was a Cy Young candidate for a while. They weren't talking about, past his prime. And Gausman is just like, he's going to be a Band-Aid. It's a perfectly fine pickup. He'll start a playoff game, hopefully multiple playoff games.
Right.
And it is what it is. And you've got some pitching depth, and you got to give credit to Judd a little bit here. Like, he did what he had to do. It was clear. The league knew it. Everybody knew what he was trying to do, and he just went out and did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, he deserves credit.
Nice if they could have gotten Scooble, but whatever.
Yeah. And then later, if it doesn't work, then we can just beat the shit out of him with it. But for now, we'll.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's still pitching. It's still the guys who are really, really good. Cubs. I mean, Scooble was the one who was traded, right? And I don't think Ched could have kept up with what the Dodgers gave up. Maybe he could have. I don't know. But like
everything that I was going to say, everything that I saw like felt like the Dodgers didn't really give up much for Scooble.
Well, I mean, they gave up 2 kind of top 50 prospects. River Ryan is a little bit on the older side, but he's really good. And he's probably in his prime right now. He just had some injuries. Hope is the guy. He's a top 50 prospect right now. And this other pitcher that they gave up seems to be all right.
I think
so it's not. Yeah.
I think the feeling is because they made the trade so early.
Yeah.
I think people are like, shouldn't the Tigers have like
waited a little bit?
Because Scuba wasn't going to pitch again. He wasn't going to get hurt unless he got hit by a bus. And waited and seen if other teams all of a sudden were like, fuck it, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like let the offer out as a rumor. So other teams like, we could beat that.
Yeah.
And I think because part of the criticism is exactly River Ryan is 28.
Yeah.
He converted position player into a pitcher who has great stuff, but keeps getting hurt. Zaire Hope, he's a former Cub. So that's a black mark on his record. A Cub draft pick, like, he can't be any good. But not the Dodgers' best outfield prospect.
No,
and I think like people were like, it just does seem a little light.
Yeah,
but I think what it shows is that teams that everybody thought should be in on them, like the Brewers, just weren't. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
a lot of teams would like to go shopping through the Brewers minor league system.
Yeah,
and I talked about it yesterday that like. The Brewers have like 3 really good shortstop prospects.
Yeah.
It's like, aren't you? And they didn't move any of them to try to they got, they must have been really impressed by, why can't I think of the freaky redhead's name that they got?
Dustin May.
Dustin May. Yeah. By his 5 innings against the Cubs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll, he'll pitch well for them because the Brewers seem to know what they're doing. But it was like, it just felt like this was the year they should go for it.
Yeah.
If you still have a healthy Mizorowski.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, just do it. You don't know if that's ever going to happen again. I mean, at some point that arm is just going to go flying into the stands.
Right.
Yep.
And it's going to be over. And it's not like, what are you Carter Hawkins and you're just building for the 2032 Brewers? And maybe they're like, fuck it, we're good enough with this. We don't need to mess with it. I don't know. We'll find out. But it felt like, I know as a Cub fan who doesn't want to see the Brewers win, feeling like, fuck, this is the year they're actually going to go make that move and they're going to be really tough. And then they just didn't do it. So
that was kind of my first reaction, was at least the Brewers didn't get him. Yeah, like you're right. Like what's the point of hoarding all these prospects?
Yeah. I mean, they get older and then some of them prove they can't play.
Right.
They don't all get better where next year you trade them for even more. Like if teams are excited about these guys, pick the ones you think fit and hold on to them. And the others, that's, you get prospects for 2 reasons, either to play on your team or to trade for what you don't have. And I'm fine with it. And then I was interested in what the White Sox would do, because I think the temptation is, hey, we're in first place. And I wondered if Getz would fall victim to that. And it felt very much like what Theo did in 15, which is we're ahead of schedule. And we still need to sort some of this shit out. So he went out and got Dan Herron and Tommy Hunter.
Yeah.
And the Cubs inexplicably got super hot, which I don't expect the White Sox to do, and go roaring into the playoffs. But Getz could have chased like a division title this year and ended up a year from now going, we traded 2 guys we shouldn't have fucking traded.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense to charge after it right now. Kenny Williams would have. Kenny wouldn't have waited.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what Getz basically did was he got his reclamation project and he's taking on a lot of salary for next year for Luis Castillo. But whatever, they've got the money to spend.
It is funny though that the solution to Tristan Peters going full banana in the second half was to get Brenton Doyle, who couldn't hit in Colorado. It's like, what have you just accomplished? Nothing.
Yeah.
God.
Maybe they need a defense. I don't know enough about them, but and Brenton Doyle hits right-handed. They're left-handed heavy, right?
Yeah, he doesn't hit.
Yeah, he doesn't.
They're playing half his games in Coors. He's just never hit. He's got 2 gold gloves though.
Comiscular rate is basically Coors, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
The thought I have about the White Sox is like, I guess they did it with Castillo a little bit. I'm surprised they didn't go after, say, like a Logan Webb or, Reed Detmers themselves, thinking that, like, okay, we're getting really good years out of Sean Burke and Davis Martin. Who knows how long that's going to last? Because those guys were never really highly touted prospects or anything. So
I think it's probably, like to Andy's point, I think it's a year too soon to go after those guys. It's kind of, that was sort of the thing with the Blackhawks. I know it's not exactly
everybody drink for the Blackhawks reference on the show.
Oh, is that right?
That's just something I thought of. But.
Oh, all right, fair enough. I do like there is that would be the kind of move, and I know that it would be for next year and the year after, but that'd be the kind of thing where you might regret who you gave up a few years from now. Because you're still trying to get everybody into their primes at the same time. And with somebody like Logan Webb, who's, probably a few years away from kind of a bit of a decline phase, you may not, that may just not be the same within the same time period. You need all these players to be.
I also think that the controllable pitchers, did any of them really go?
No, not really.
Like the one the Cubs got is Braxton Garrett isn't on anybody's, wasn't on anybody's got to have him for this year list. And I kind of feel, I guess Soriano, right? He was the one who got traded.
Mm-hmm.
He was controllable. And it made sense. He went to a team that's already like looking at next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got the feeling, even though, Michael Cerami said otherwise, that once Soriano went, that the Angels probably had made their decision about which controllable pitcher they were going to trade. And the Giants never offered Webb up. Buster is convinced that they can be better next year, and he's not getting rid of Logan Webb, because once you trade Logan Webb, then you got to go find another Logan Webb, and you're not going to find him. So it sounds like they didn't make any changes. They made an interesting trade in that they traded their big lefty Eric Miller, who, when he's on, is really good, but he also will have games where he can't. Couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a scoop shovel, as my dad would say.
Oh, really? Oh.
And they traded him for Marcelo Mayer, who was like he was a top 10 prospect in baseball just a couple of years ago.
He was probably the number one prospect going into this year, right? But the thing with him is that it's kind of the same thing with Ballesteros. You kind of feel like the Red Sox kind of probably know him better than anyone else, and maybe there's something up where they need him, like, because he's been terrible this year in the majors. He hasn't hit for a lick in any major.
He was awful, and now he's hurt.
Yeah, now he's hurt.
Yeah.
So there must have been something where it's like, maybe a change of scenery, and maybe the Giants can do something with him or whatever.
How about this? He went to the same high school as Casey Schmidt.
Oh.
So
cool.
There you go.
Put those two together now on the Giants. Success.
Yeah. So does this mean the Cubs are getting Jack Flaherty next year, since he went to the same high school as PCA?
And Max Fried?
Actually,
Max
get
Fried
all those
too,
guys who went to high school. Just get everybody who went to high school with Pete at the same high school as Pete. You'd be pretty good. Even if you have to put up with a Jack Flaherty once in a while, you'd still have pretty good players.
If only Jim Hendry went to that same high school. Imagine all the great prospects we would have had in the 2000s.
I will be interested to see what they do if, because they don't have a closer right now, and we don't know what you're going to get out of Daniel Palencia when he comes back. If Zephyr John just becomes the closer,
he might.
He certainly got the stuff for it, and they don't really. I mean, I guess technically, like, Jacob Webb is supposed to be the closer, but Craig, if the best part of the lineup is the eighth, that's when he uses Webb, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe this allows him to actually pick a guy, because you got. I mean, you still have Turd Ferguson and Trent Thornton, so you've got elite setup guys.
Elite.
I'm done with Trent Thornton after blowing that game in St. Louis. I'm sorry, but
I'm worried that Turd might be out. I mean,
this might be
it for the Turd.
Yeah.
Like, they've got enough guys coming back that both of those guys are probably gone.
Trent Thornton might wish he actually had broken his foot on that comebacker, so he could have spent the rest of the year on the major league injured list instead of sending in the farm report from Iowa.
I guess with Zephyr John, like, a big thing I worry about too is just, it's kind of attractive that he's under control for multiple years, but under Jed Hoyer, that hasn't exactly been a good thing to have relief pitchers under control for multiple years. You know, we're seeing it with Phil Maton now, where we saw with Adbert Alzolay.
Yeah, but hang on. Well, the Alzolay, he just got hurt a lot.
David Ross blew Albert's arm.
That's a good point.
Leprechaun is still young enough to where like that's the kind of guy that they need.
Yeah.
He's not like he's 3 or 4 years away from free agents. Like he's 23 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jed's and his theory is mostly right. It's with these kind of veteran guys that, other than the elite, other than the elite arms, you never know what you're getting. These guys,
yeah,
like you can get Phil Maton, who's had 2 good years in a row, and he's just awful this year. But at some point, you have to have enough confidence in your own scouting ability to not have to rebuild the entire bullpen every year.
Right.
It's nuts.
Right.
Like I can see having 3 or 4 spots where you're like, okay, this is unlikely repeatable. Let's just flip this guy for somebody else. But you have the Cubs under Jed haven't really had any kind of like, kind of foundation for a bullpen. And if over the next, say, 3 years, you have Palencia and you have Zephyrjohn,
yes,
it makes it easier to build out the rest of the bullpen than having to build an entire bullpen every year, which is kind of what they've had to do.
And I think going into this year, they were thinking that Ben Brown is going to be a bullpen guy. I think that they had some guys in mind who, I think they figured Assad might turn into a bullpen guy. And I still think that might be the path that these guys, maybe not Ben Brown so much, but the path that these guys go down.
Yeah.
Like I think that they're building up a young enough and by the way, Zephyrjohn is 28 apparently. But so you're building up kind of these kind of homegrown guys. And some of them are just better than you thought they were going to be. Yeah. Like Brown and Assad. And now they're starter material, and that's fine too.
Yeah. And the other thing about Jed's kind of fungible relievers is they tend to be guys without great stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Keller was kind of like he was kind of the exception to that.
Yeah.
Like he was a guy that everybody's like, this has a great arm, but nobody's been able to figure out what to do with it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But the other guys are all kind of fringy,
Yeah. Well, the guys who they get at the agency because because
he only shops for old white guys.
Yeah.
That's he's looking for.
Yep. No, that's true.
Oh man.
That's why I wondered if when Tyrone Taylor walked in today, Jed's like, oh shit.
Ha.
Carter, you gotta start attaching headshots to these scouting reports.
Hey, he is very light skinned for someone with that name.
He could fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have just fooled Jed.
Right.
Tyrone, like Tyrone Power? Yeah, exactly. Oh.
I mean, it's unfortunate they had to send out Justin Dean to make that all work, but
Yeah.
Well, they had to keep James Triantos.
Fair, exactly. Yeah. Had to keep everything very bright and shiny and reflective.
Yeah. I mean, at some point they get Shaw back. We think maybe right? He's swinging a bat now, which seems like progress.
Yes,
so he made an appearance. We can be rid of Triantos.
I want to say he's at Wrigley today. I don't know if that was like to get him like a close and personal look at like how he's progressing, but
well, they had like weren't on Monday. I think Cabrera and Palencia were there too to check in with the doctors before they headed to Iowa.
Yeah.
So maybe he's there to finish up a little rehab and then go off on a assignment.
Yeah, I can have there's guys they'll get healthy at the right time. They've done better than tread water, and
they're just like the Dodgers last year.
Yes.
It's the same strategy.
Yeah,
Save all your studs. Save all your studs for September.
Cabrera and Brown are just like Snell and Glasnow.
Exactly. And
go.
And if and Shota kind of seems like Yamamoto. If you squint,
they look similar, yeah.
About 6 or 7 years older. Shota's about 5 inches shorter?
Yeah. Well, no, Yamamoto's little.
Is he?
It's funny because he doesn't seem like he'd be little. He somehow seems big.
Yeah.
But he's not tall.
Interesting.
Let's see how tall he is. 6'7".
No. 5'10".
Oh, wow.
Yep.
He's basically Shota size.
Yeah.
Shota taller? 5'11"? Nope, 5'10". They're the same size.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Is he pitching tomorrow for LA?
I hope not.
I really hope not either because I'm going to the game. So.
Oh, are you?
I am, yeah.
Are you sitting in the bleachers?
No. Maybe save this for another part of the podcast. I'll tell you where I'm sitting.
You know You know how I know that Kevin Gausman does not have that dog in him?
How?
He pitched Game 6 of the World Series against Yamamoto. And where was he in Game 7? Yamamoto pitching Yamamoto was going to pitch the last. He would have pitched 10 innings in Game 7 if he had to. He didn't care. Where was Gausman? Sitting on the bench with his arm with a big ice bag on his arm.
Ooh. All right, now
what a wuss.
What starters did the Blue Jays use in relief in Game 7? Now I need to know this, because this is who the Cubs should have traded for.
What did they use in relief in Game 7?
Yeah, that is usually a starter.
Shane Bieber make an appearance in Game 7?
Possibly.
They had Dave Stieb.
Oh yes, Shane Bieber took the loss. Yeah, so there you go.
Chris Bassett and Shane Bieber.
Yeah,
but they also use Louis Varland. Oh, Trey Savage too.
Yeah,
and Jeff Hoffman, who fucked it up, and then Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Wow.
Sir Anthony would have won Game 7, right? If Ralph Kiner Alfalfa could have gotten a decent secondary lead. Sir Anthony is a Game 7 winner, I think.
Is that right? That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I got who
best one since
Mike Montgomery.
No, Mike Montgomery got a save. Aroldis got that win, so that doesn't count.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't think if somebody told somebody that Aroldis Chapman won Game 7 of the World Series, they'd be like, really?
Right.
So actually, I know what happened. I'm surprised he didn't talk about it at the time. John Schneider went to Gausman and said, "Can you pitch tonight?" And Kevin said, "No, because I'm going to have to pitch Game 7 of the World Series next year for the Cubs."
There we go. There we go.
Yes.
He was forward thinking. Beautiful.
I need my rest. Sorry, you're going to have to try to do this without me.
Yeah.
He's like, I respect it.
Sorry, I have already seen the future in which the Blue Jays sell at next year's trade deadline after being 2 outs away from winning the World Series the previous year.
And I go to the Cubs and I have to pitch 4 innings of relief on no day's rest in Game 7. And our rematch with Cleveland in the World Series.
Done and done.
Yeah.
That would be quite a playoffs if we got a Cubs Cleveland World Series.
So you'd have Pedro Ramirez going up against his childhood idol, Jose Ramirez.
Ooh.
Is that right? Is that true?
I mean, listen, you got 2 third basemen named Ramirez there.
Switch hits.
You got to have a Ramos throw out a first pitch in that game.
He told Taylor or somebody that the reason he switched hits is because of Jose.
Oh wow!
Because of Jose Ramirez.
They're built the same, right? They're kind of both.
Pretty much.
Kind of, yeah. Honestly.
God, that play Pedro made on Monday night against the Dodgers, the diving stop, amazing.
That was fantastic.
Dude, he's a good ball player. I think that he's another reason. Did I say this already? Why
you started to, and then we interrupted you.
Yeah, why Ballesteros was a bit expendable. Like Ramirez is just a better ball player.
Yeah, I was expecting him to go in the deadline, but I'm very much glad. I'm very much glad that he's still here.
I felt like Jed would have had to like rip him out of Craig's hands.
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
it's funny how Craig is so like he talks about Pedro all the time, and Shaw had a nice year, especially the second half last year. He never talked about Matt like that.
No,
it's almost like he makes a point of talking about how smart Pedro is as a player, as a point to go, unlike the other dumb shit we got from Maryland.
Yeah, unlike this chud over
Maryland's
here.
A big time school.
But who knows? Maybe they'll be that could be your right and left fielder next year.
Right.
Pedro Ramirez a mad shot.
Right.
I gotta resign Seiya. I know Seiya's
a lot of power in that outfield if you have that.
Yeah.
Pete better hit 70. Yeah, and I don't like the fact that there's never any like Seiya extension talks.
Yeah.
Ever. Like in the meeting, not even like they seem to just be resigned to, we'll talk to him after this.
I mean,
like why?
If they're going to do it, they have to get it done ASAP because, you mentioned it on the podcast before. If he goes without a contract towards, after the point where the CBA expires, he's going back to Japan.
I mean, we don't know that for sure. I think both him and Shota like the fact they have that option.
Yeah.
I don't think the lockout is going to last that long.
We'll see.
I don't think this is going to blow up the season. I think spring training probably starts late, and there's a short spring training. But there's too much like TV money at stake for the owners and stuff. Like they're going to try to make a big stand and make some demands and get the players to cave on some stuff. But I don't think this is the year. I think maybe 5 years from now, that might be the year. That might be the time when they actually try to push this thing through. But I feel like the more they talk about a salary cap now, more of that is to try to get the players to cave on other things that they want, knowing that they're not going to get a salary cap. So I'm not that worried about it. It's just going to fuck up the offseason. Like
I think so too. And that's kind of part of it is that there's enough from the Japanese guys who really do have that option. I think that there's enough of like, well, let's just see what happens. And they're in no hurry to sign.
Yeah.
And neither Shota nor Seiya are going to get like huge contracts. They're just older guys. I think they're both going to be 35. I mean,
Seiya's going to be in demand, but I think you're right. His age limits how much teams are going to want to offer him.
Right.
I think he's one of those guys I think is worth more to the Cubs than he is to other teams. He's their second best player. Like, what are they going to replace him with if they let him go?
Yeah.
Like, Happ you could replace. It's like the old Simpsons when Homer was on vacation and they tied a brick to the handle in the thing while he was gone.
Yeah.
You could do that with Happ. You could put a mop out and left, but say you need him to actually like produce.
Yeah.
And you don't have, I mean, you do have the great Josiah Hartshorn, but I don't think he's coming to play right field next year.
Probably
and also,
not yet.
apparently he might be, he's not exactly Mr. Athlete.
Really?
Like they're a little concerned about whether or not he could actually, whether he can really play outfield.
Stick him in left, he'll be fine.
Exactly. That's where he's going to go. But if you're looking for a Seiya replacement, it ain't going to be him.
I don't think I mean, it's just not going to take money. You're talking about probably a 3-year, $50 million deal.
No, it's going to be more than 50. He's going to get, he already gets 25 a year.
Yeah. But he's, like I said, he's older. He's
bad, but salaries go up. They don't go down. He's a 390 player, probably.
Think so?
I'd be comfortable with that.
Andy, I got a bit of a bone to pick with you now that we're talking Cubs prospects here, because you didn't mention.
Well, I'm the ultimate prospect pervert. So
there we go. Perfect. You did mention yesterday kind of a desire for the Cubs to acquire like a Luis Arias type to try to offset because everyone kind of swing for the fences. Didn't you mention Luis Arias?
I talked about how that seemed to be why the Phillies got him, and I couldn't understand
why the Phillies got him. Okay,
why the Phillies are somehow going to play 4 guys out of position with their rotation. It's like the simple solution there is Alex Boehm doesn't go from third to first; he goes from third to the bench. That's where he goes.
Yeah.
But they're going to put Bryce Harper in right. Okay. And Boehm's going to go to first, and Stott's going to go to third, and Arias is going to play second, and they're going to be worse defensively at every single position. I don't think that's true.
I think
I did not talk about the Cubs getting Luis Arias.
Okay, if it didn't have anything to do with the Cubs, then never mind. Because I was going to say that your distaste for Kane Kepley is
I think Luis Arias is fun, but I want him on other teams because I don't want that fun. I don't want a guy whose on base average is 3 points higher than his batting average. And never hits any speed.
I gotcha.
Well, Luis does not roll his balls down the foul line. That's different.
Right, as far as we know.
Far superior to have Juan Pierre and his ball rolling.
I was so excited as an 11-year-old that they got Juan Pierre, and he could not have been.
Yeah, you and Jim Hendry both.
Disappointment.
And you were the only two. Oh, and Len Casper. Len was fired up.
Yeah. That's true. Just so he can make that reference every day. Yeah.
He did lead the league in outs in his one year with the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. And caught stealings, I believe, too.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. He was also a terribly inefficient base stealer.
Right.
Other than that, though, he's great. He also couldn't throw at all.
Also, I went down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole a little bit ago. He was kind of the one that spurred the, if you remember in 2010, on the South Side, the fight in the dugout between Derek Lee and Carlos Zambrano, because he was the guy who hit a ball past Derek Lee that Zambrano got pissed about, and that's what resulted in that. Yeah.
Well, Carlos had just had it with all of Derek Lee's terrible defense.
This is true. Yes. I mean, hey, he had flashbacks of 2008, that one game where everyone made an error.
Like Carlos, you're picking a fight with the best defensive first baseman. Maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. And
when Carlos saw red, it didn't matter who he was arguing with. He was just going to go nuts. So.
For sure.
But yeah, otherwise I was heartened that they did get a right-hand replacement for Happ. I kind of felt like they were in such denial about that they weren't going to do it. And Tyrone he's been very good against lefties this year, and kind of bad. He still has power against righties, but he's not very good. But he can play all three outfield spots.
Yep.
So it's nice to have, if you actually want to give Pete a day off one of these days, you can do it. I liked it took them 9 years to finally face reality, but they did. And so feel bad for Ian that his final weeks with the Cubs.
No, you don't. You don't have to lie to us.
He's now a part-time player. That must be terrible for his poor little.
Hey, he has more time to podcast now. He could podcast live from the bench.
He should, right?
Yeah, anytime there's a lefty on the mound, anytime there's a lefty starter, Ian can podcast.
There you go.
Craig's like, Ian, we need you to pinch it. Oh, sorry, I just started a segment.
Dakota Mecca's hold on that point
before I got a hair plug commercial. So 8 minutes? Can I hit that?
Right. Oh, man. Hey, Tyrone Taylor, not just a replacement for Ian Happ when there's a lefty on the mound, also potentially a replacement for Ian Happ on the field, too. Because he's actually been a better fielder than Ian Happ this season.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my other joke, was that in the third, he'll probably play a third of the games for the Cubs. Maybe he'll steal Happ's Gold Glove.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Because we know from looking at that list of other finalists when Happ has won the Gold Glove.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a full-time left fielder to be on that list. There's some pretty incredible names on it. Like, really? The Kyle Stowers one last year is still hilarious. He's a legitimately terrible outfielder.
Correct.
And he was a Gold Glove finalist.
This is the point I drive home whenever I'm in an argument with all these little Happ fans on Twitter that, like, take a look at who else is in the running for the Gold Gloves. Those guys the next year are not left fielders. Or they're awful, like Stowers is.
Well, it's their problem. They don't have the quick release. Love to hear about
quick release. Like Happ.
Yeah, it's like
I got a quick release for him right here.
Of course, he's got a quick release. He throws every ball to Dansby from no matter where he is. So Dansby busts his ass out there to actually get within range of Happ's little weenie arm.
Right.
It's like 20 feet away from Happ.
Dansby should get 2 Gold Gloves. He should get the shortstop and left field Gold Gloves. He's doing all the work.
Like in softball, there's a short center fielder.
He's the short left fielder.
Short left center, yeah. Oh, man.
So do we think that these, like, with the additions, like, is this a World Series Cubs team now? World Series caliber?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
There's another team playing on the field at Wrigley Field tonight, and they're a little more World Series caliber than the Cubs are.
What if somebody upsets the Dodgers before the Cubs have to play them?
Then that's a different conversation.
I don't think the Dodgers are, like, Freddie Freeman is good, but Mookie Betts seems to be on a bit of a decline. Now we're going a year and a half of him not being that good. Like Teoscar Hernandez is obviously, a pretty good home run hitter, but he's not that great. Like Max Muncy's really good, but they've got holes in. They're not a great defensive team, and they're not, like, the offense, I think, might be a bit overrated. Like, they're good, but I don't see any reason why the Cubs couldn't play with them. Like, everybody's worried about Skubal, and I get it. Like, they're going to have really, really good October pitching.
So do the Cubs have a better offense than the Dodgers?
You know what? If you look at, like, Fangraphs right now on who's leading the league in WRC Plus, I think the Cubs are actually ahead of the Dodgers.
In runs scored, the Cubs have scored more runs than the Dodgers.
Okay.
3. 580 to 577.
Okay.
And it's still, because the game right now is tied, so it's still 3. because now it's 581 to 578. OPS plus, the Dodgers are slightly better, 113 to 109. Does this have WRC plus on it anymore?
I think WRC plus is only.
I would say they're at least they're comparable.
Yeah. And the Dodgers have a really good starting rotation, right? And I get like Tarek Skubal is the best pitcher.
Here
they probably have the two best pitchers in the National League, right?
Okay.
With Skubal.
Well, did you see the thing where they're, if the MVPs and the Cy Youngs get to wear a gold MLB logo on their back of their jerseys?
Yeah.
Oh.
And now the Dodgers are the first team that has two of those guys because Shohei and Skubal both are wearing it right now.
Nice. Wow. I didn't hear about that. No. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to see Pete wearing that in 2028.
Yeah. Like, I think, like I said, I think the Dodgers are beatable. Like, I don't see, like, you know what I mean? Like,
what do we miss?
I said it, and it appeared on TV within seconds. They're currently nice. Marquee is currently showing both of the logos. How about that?
Wow.
I'm basically programming the Marquee.
I was going to say, you're Mike McCarthy now, the new programming director for Marquee.
I'm the guy, though. They do it all the time. They tune into me. I'm the guy who makes sure they cut to the wrong camera when runners are rounding third and trying to score. I'm the one who always calls second base, and they go to the wrong. They do it. I've never seen a broadcast that fucks up more shots in a game.
So bad, so bad. Do you remember it was last year, the game that they won in a walk-off against the Rockies with Matt Shaw hitting a sac fly, and I think it was Nico Horner who scored the winning run. And I want to say, as the winning run was crossing home plate, they cut to a camera, and there was a groundskeeper standing like right in front of it. It was like lined up right at home plate, basically. Yeah,
the groundskeeper of the game, Chuck. So last night maybe they're doing it again. They are. So MLB Extra Innings is showing the Dodger feed. And then I have the Marquee feed on the big TV. Okay. And the MLB Extra Innings is slightly ahead. Uh-huh. So I was sitting there and I would look over to see what was about to happen on the big TV. And I literally thought this. I'm like, wow, Marquee's doing a nice job of this game. Just the way they were cut. It wasn't them. It was the Dodger. It was Sportsnet LA or whatever it is. I mean, it's that noticeable. Well, so when you have the two broadcasts next to each other, the non-Marquee one is clearly better. It's like, Jesus. What?
But I think on the visiting broadcast, like the same cameramen that work in LA wouldn't be coming to Chicago for that broadcast.
So it's actually, it just shows the director of LA is far better
the director,
than whoever is direct, because they have the same shots available and he's picking the right ones. It's kind of damning, actually.
So it's funny you bring this up because I kind of noticed the same thing. Like when the Cubs play the White Sox on the South Side, I actually opted to go watch the White Sox broadcast of it. And obviously Triffin's not great, but I do like their game presentation a hell of a lot more than Marquee.
I can't say I watch a lot of. I fucked up because as I was signing off of Tom Loxis's podcast where he let me complain about Ian Happ for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. He was talking about the White Sox, and I thought about it afterwards because this thought came to mind that everything I know about this White Sox team I've learned against my will. I don't pay any attention to them, but there's stuff I know now because they're just in the same town. Because he's like, the Sox have all, he's talking about like marketable young players. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. I guess. I know they got the one Japanese guy who either hits a homer or strikes out. They got him.
Yes.
And they got the Savannah Banana in center field. Yeah. I know they have that. And they have 8 guys named Montgomery. One of whom is way too tall to play shortstop. So he plays third most of the time.
Especially
I know that. That's what I know.
Eyes, yeah.
And I know that I picked up Davis Martin in my fantasy league, and now I know why the guy cut him, that I picked him up from. So that's what I know about the White Sox.
Hey, they have their own version of Michael Bush, too, and Miguel Vargas, basically. So
I know way more about the White Sox.
I know you can get a $20 sushi stick. I know that because I saw the John Greenberg. The John Greenberg, he did a little like TikTok thing about.
I tried that last Sox game I was at.
Did you?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
So it's this big. It's got this big tube that's got sushi in it all the way down, and then it comes with this thing that's like a big straw, right? It's full of soy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You dump the soy sauce in, and then you can use that thing to push. That's like an old orange push-up to push the sushi out of it. Are you saying you didn't do that? You were like trying to jam your fingers? Or you just like,
no, someone else bought it and offered me a piece of it, and
you got to try it. Yeah.
It was like Homer in hell with the donuts
on a conveyor belt.
Yeah, with sushi,
and there's Satan looking at him like, you're not supposed to be enjoying this.
Have more donuts.
I would say my big concern about if the Cubs face the Dodgers would be in the Cubs' inability to hit. Like, they're really good at pounding like 3s and 4s.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
And you don't get any when you play the Dodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's also the choice, like the Dodgers last year, we joked about how it's all working out for the Cubs because they're going to get all their guys back at the end, like the Dodgers did last year. But one of these years, that's not going to work, right? Like, Blake Snell is going to have a setback in his rehab, and they're like, oh shit, he's not ready. And Tyler Glasnow's going to come back, and 4 pitches into the first game, he's going to throw out his back again. Yeah. And you might get to catch them at a point where they do have to drag Justin Wrobleski out, even though he's now turned into he's turned into Jameson Taillon, and every other pitch is a homer.
Or Chris Bubich, yeah.
When they traded for Bubich, I'm like, of course. Like, I mean, I know part of the reason they could trade for him is they could. Like, if he's healthy, great. If he's not, And where most other teams are going to give up what it takes to get Bubich, like, we need him to pitch. Like, the Cubs are not going to do that. They would need him to be healthy, and you don't get 100% chance he's going to be healthy. But it's like, and you just get the feeling, of course that's going to work out for them. Like, he's going to be fine by playoff time.
Yeah, he'll be throwing playoff innings.
Because I'm one of those guys. I hate the Dodgers because they ruin baseball. They're just ruining it because they spend a lot of money on really good players, which is just ludicrous. Why would you do that? Why would you spend good money on great players? That seems stupid.
Right.
And
a big market team doing that, terrible.
even though they pay all the luxury tax penalties and they take, like, their draft picks get dropped down and they lose draft picks, they still somehow manage to have the best farm system. And it's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. You could. I get it. I want them to lose too, just because there's just like Dodger fatigue. Like, like, you've won enough. I don't actively root against them because I feel like they've somehow tilted the game to their favor. It's like, we've got a billionaire owner too, or at least those stooges on paper, they're billionaires. They could do some of this shit, but they won't do it.
100%.
Yeah, I don't hate the Dodgers, but I wish the Cubs were the Dodgers.
Yes, you said exactly what I was just going to say. Yeah, well, the Cubs should operate exactly like them.
And then don't get me started on how close the Cubs were to actually having the Guggenheim partner guys as their owners.
Mark Walter. Oh my God. I hate that. I hate that so much.
But Bud made sure. First, he wanted the pink hat guy, right? Wasn't that no, it was somebody canning. That's what he wanted. The guy, he wouldn't be able to put together a big enough package. So then he went right for the Ricketts. That's what we're going to get to. And there was Mark Walter over there with a huge check. Like, hey, what about me? And Bud's like, oh, no, I'm selling it to these Omaha hillbillies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he had like Mark Cuban in the mix too, right?
Yeah,
wasn't he a name mentioned?
I'm glad that didn't happen. We didn't need the cubes.
He would have spent more than the Ricketts did.
Yeah, he probably would have.
He's fine. I got enough to like.
Part owner now somewhere. I think he is.
Yeah.
He'd have moved into Pittsburgh. Where did he live in Indiana? He'd have taken him. The Cubs would have been the first team.
Yeah, to move to Indiana.
They'd be sharing a stadium with the Bears. It's still the north side. It's a little northeast now.
Yeah, still the north side. He's moving him to Grays Lake.
Well, no, Grays Lake is northwest.
Not of me, it's not.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Not of you. They're southeast of you, or maybe just straight east. I don't know.
No, we're pretty far north. You can't get much north other than.
Yeah. Okay.
Rockford's
yeah.
11
Rockford is right on the border, so yeah, that makes sense.
That's why we have hills. because we're basically Wisconsin.
I was going to say, how far away from like Charles Mound are you?
You mean Charles Barkley? The round mound or rebound? Charles?
No, not Charles Barkley. No, do you know about Charles Mound? That's like apparently the highest elevation point in Illinois.
Yeah, don't know where Charles Mound is.
Somewhere like a little west of Rockford, I want to say.
It's like in Galena. Gets real hilly in Galena. Yeah, Joe Davies County, Charles Mound.
Yeah,
so that's out
somewhere in the middle of that
south
area.
of Shullsburg, Wisconsin. There's good cheese in Shullsburg.
Well, that's everywhere in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's right. Seventh inning stretch tonight is Cookie Monster.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
One of the greats.
Yeah,
it might be one of my. That's what top 2 stretches of all time.
Yeah.
Ozzy, Ditka, Cookie Monster,
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, so top 3. Yeah, Jeff Gordon, Wrigley Stadium.
Yeah.
What about, remember Kelly Pickler?
Oh, God. That was the worst interview ever.
Buy me some peanuts and Apple Jacks.
Ha! The cereal.
That was back in the day when Len and, I don't know, it might have been Bob. Actually interviewed
Bob.
They actually interviewed the stretch singer. Remember that torture? They had to, and Pat and Ron would interview him too.
In the bottom of the 7th, they would, yeah.
Yeah, that's when she talked about Apple Jacks. I never sang that song before, but buy me some peanuts and Apple Jacks. Glenn's like, okay, let's move on from this.
Right. For as nice as Len always has a track record of being, now that you're bringing this up, this kind of points out to me like some of the stretch singers that maybe he didn't particularly care for. It would always be in like maybe like they'd have a big inning in the 7th inning when they would actually let's get some runs, and there would be a pitching change in the middle, and he would say like, hey, great to see you, not asking them to stick around or anything like that.
Yeah,
right.
Well, you did a great job, but you can leave now.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go. I don't. Yeah, I think you do. Come on. How long is Scooble needs? It's his first start, guy. Pace him. You should probably take him out.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah, he's probably
give him some rest. Let's put in.
I mean, he's already going 3rd time through the order.
Put in Evan Phillips in his 5.40 ERA. He could use some work.
So I was going to wonder who would be if everybody's healthy, who the Cubs game 1 starter is in the playoffs, but I'm sure it'll just be matchup dependent, I would think, from Craig.
Possibly, yeah.
I think as long as they can keep Matt Boyd he's not allowed to play with his kids. Because he's been really good for 5 starts in a row now.
All the Cubs pitchers have been really good.
He's a guy who, honestly, the knee injury may have been a benefit for Boyd.
Yeah.
Just that it kept him from pitching.
Yep.
Although knowing the Cubs, his knee will flare up during the game 1 of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Clay Holmes, right? It's kind of nice that it was a leg injury. You did make a really good point that I hadn't thought of. I want to give you some props for this. Mentioning that the Mets didn't activate Holmes before the trade deadline, meaning that now the Cubs can have an extra, 3-4 days.
Because if they had, he'd have to be on the active roster right now. So they'd be one guy short in the bullpen. But Dave Stearns is a fairly smart guy, and I think he felt like that would be an added bonus to trade for Clay Holmes if they don't. And because the Mets are out of it, it's not like they needed him to come back to pitch that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he threw him in AAA, and he had a good start in AAA, and that was it. All right.
Yeah, I think Jesse officially announced it that when they go to Kansas City this weekend, that's when both Gausman and Holmes will make their Cub debuts.
Yeah, I know Thursday is Gausman's normal turn,
right?
But I couldn't see them pitching him against the Blue Jays.
Right.
Is that game in Chicago? Yeah, it must be.
It is.
Yeah, it's a makeup game. It's a makeup game.
Yeah. It's a makeup game.
Yeah. Hey, at least it'll be an improved Cubs bullpen from the last time the Cubs and Blue Jays played each other when they blew a 5-run lead in that one game on Saturday.
Oh, I don't know. It might still. Let's see. By that turd might be gone by then.
Thank you, Yahweh.
They're supposed to get Hobie Milner back this week.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about Hobie Milner. Taylor was giving her. Seems like she's only on air now to give like a 15-minute injury report because there's so many.
Yeah.
And then they go down to her every time a ball gets fouled near her in the dugout, which happens about 12 times a game. That seems to be the two uses of Taylor.
Yeah.
Is here's the injury report, and did you get hit in the head with that foul ball?
She's not allowed to talk to players' families anymore.
No, they haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have used some quality time with Pedro Ramirez's mom and dad.
Right.
Why didn't I get to meet him?
Were they at the game?
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know because Taylor wasn't on the beat.
Damn it, Marquis. You have one job.
What was I going to say about Taylor, though? I forget. I'm sure it was whatever it was. Wait, is she related to Tyrone?
I don't think so.
They're both named Taylor.
Are they? Is she related to Conor?
Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Son of a.
Are you reacting to the out at home, Oleg? Because I'm only following on game day. I didn't happen to see that.
Wow. I mean, whatever it takes for Michael Bush to get his slugging up over 380.
Yeah. Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how they've scored the fourth most runs in baseball, and you've got guys like Bush hasn't had nearly as good a season as last year. Bregman hasn't had the season you thought he was gonna.
Right.
Nico was really good at the beginning, then terrible for a long stretch. Now he's been good since the All-Star break. Dansby woke up for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been funny that a lot of that is just how amazing Pete has been.
Yeah.
Right.
Pete only struggled. It felt like Pete struggled for a long stretch in the first half, but he really didn't. It was basically
the 10-game losing streak. That was it.
Yeah. Well, he got off to a bad start. He didn't have good
that's true.
Right
that's
away.
True. Yeah.
But it was, I mean, within 4 weeks, he was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of been the one guy. Then Seiya's had a couple of slumps, but he's been good for most of the season. So.
Yeah, they've been a weird team. There's guys who get hot at just different times. When they all went in a slump together, that sucked. That's when they had the long losing streak. But otherwise, it's just been Pete and Say have been good every day, and then different guys. Then Kelly had a home run yesterday. Like different guys just sort of step up from day to day.
Well, and of course Ian Happ carried him for a good 3 weeks there early in the season.
Oh, was it for 3 hours?
Yeah. When he got most of his production for the entire year.
Yes,
I loved it when he got off to the his start. For like 6 weeks, he was off to a really good start. And Boog is like, he's on pace to hit 40 homers. And it's like, we've seen him before.
Yeah.
Boog.
Right.
You know what's going to happen. Calm down.
Yeah, we'll see how long Tariq Skubal goes tonight. But thanks to Nico Horner, he's now in line for the loss.
What a terrible trade for the Dodgers.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
What were they thinking? Get this bum.
Are they trying to argue that it was interference?
I mean, the American League is clearly it's an inferior league. That's why he was able to dominate over there.
Mm-hmm.
Get him to the National League. So I remember there was this whole remember Oleg and I growing up watching baseball would have heard this over and over again about how the American League was like a breaking ball league and the National League was a fastball league.
Yeah.
And that it was always fiction, but part of it came about from the fact that, pitchers in the American League threw more high fastballs. And the reason for that supposedly was National League umpires switched to the chest protector.
Oh, yeah.
Or the American League umpires were still holding the pad.
Yes.
And
So
you can't see the low pitch with the pad.
Yep.
And I think it was mostly bullshit, but that was always the excuse as to why the leagues pitched differently, was because of the big pad versus the chest protector. Baseball's so weird. It had, not only did you have teams playing in their own league and never playing the other, you had umpires who only umpired in one league.
Yeah, it is weird how
slightly with different rules in one league to the other.
Right.
That is crazy.
That basically till 1997, right? They tried to exist as like two different major leagues, and now there's no real difference between the two at all.
Yeah, now that they have interleague, you can't have difference between them.
Well, and the DH in both leagues.
Yeah. I mean, that was
right.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I didn't want the DH in the National League, just for the fact that I like the fact that it's not like I liked watching pitchers hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that the National League teams had to use their bench more. There were more like substitutions and stuff. There were double switches, which always gave you the exciting possibility of Dusty screwing it up and having the bat out of order.
Or the thing Lou did against the Cardinals the one time, putting like Sean Marshall out in left field.
Joe did it with with Strope and Wood too.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I think the strategy just shifts. I don't know if there's less strategy because there's
fewer. There's still as much strategy, but there's less substitutions, and so I haven't missed it. I can say that the switch to the DH, I haven't been like, oh, I can't believe that we don't. It turns out I really didn't give a shit. It was fine when they switched to a DH.
You know what kind of the breath of fresh air was for me was in 2020 when, they would go back to pitchers hitting the next year. But for that year, COVID year, they made it temporary for DH in both leagues. What I loved is that I felt like in like 2018, 2019, there would be so many Kyle Hendricks starts. And I was a huge Kyle Hendricks fan. There would be so many Kyle Hendricks starts where he would give up maybe like 1 or 2 runs through the first like 5 innings or so. And then his spot in the lineup would come up in like the bottom of the 5th or bottom of the 6th. And he's only thrown like 70 or 80 pitches and could still keep going. But because they're trailing, Joe would pinch hit for him and cut his day short. And you flip to 2020, and he had one of the best years of his career in 2020. And I think it was largely because of the DH being in the league, because you didn't have to worry about having to have him hit.
Well, yeah, no, that was a real thing. American League starters went longer for that very reason. Because if you're down by 2 and that spot comes up, you didn't care. You didn't have to hit for it.
Yeah.
My favorite part of 2020 was what a great job the Cubs did of finding DHs to fill that spot. Like Victor Caratini and Steven Souza. And then the best, of course, was which Martinez was it? The one who used to play for the Cardinals?
Jose
Martinez. who went hitless with the Cubs, playing most of his time with DH. Yeah, that was great. Mm-hmm. But if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't have had the Steven Souza getting DFA'd between games of a doubleheader, which is still one of my favorites. All right, everybody. Steve, you can go home. Right. What do you mean? No, I mean like home, like wherever it is. Like if it's in Kansas, you can go there because you're not on the team anymore.
Yes. Can I hang out and eat the buffet?
Get him a to-go box, and we'll send you an invoice. But fine, you can have lunch.
You're gonna make me go home and then quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Basically,
yeah.
I can't leave the clubhouse because I've been in close contact with someone. It's like, no, you gotta go. Sorry.
Right.
Steve.
Justin Turner's not in this team. You can leave.
Yeah.
Yep. Didn't he kill a guy? When he came back out on the field with COVID to celebrate the World Series, didn't somebody get COVID on the field, and some like an employee or something?
Yeah.
And eventually die.
I don't know.
Now, there's obviously other people had COVID other than Justin Turner, but it's always like, hey, you killed a guy. gave him COVID because he had to go out and celebrate the World Series with his teammates, even though he tested positive for COVID.
It can't possibly be worse than what Rudy Gobert did before the restrictions went in place, when he just went and like coughed and touched all the mics, and then like a day later he tested positive for COVID.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. What a dude.
Rudy is the guy. Him testing positive was kind of the beginning of all the sports shutting down.
Right.
So like the Jazz were playing that night. He did it the day before. City, yep. Teams were warming up, and all of a sudden they made an announcement. Everybody had to go home because there had been, and it was Rudy had COVID. Mm-hmm. And that's when other teams, and then all of a sudden, like at NIU, they were at the MAC tournament. And basically all of a sudden all the teams got told you can go home, the tournament's off. And it was all happening. And like people like Tom Hanks was like the first guy everybody knew who tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. He was in Australia filming a movie and he tested positive for it. It's eerie to think back to how all that stuff over like the course of like 3 days.
Yeah.
Everything just started to like go away.
Compound. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Shit got weird.
It ruined David Ross's. His spring training was going to be amazing. He was going to, in that spring, he was going to build a champion, and it got cut short, and he had to go home for 3 months.
Right.
I mean, he started 13-3 for the Cubs started 13-3 that year in 2020.
Yeah.
It resumed, and then they were under 500 the rest of the year, but they won the division because of the hot start.
Mm-hmm.
So. The problem is Matt Nagy went 11-5, but I used to joke that, David Ross and Matt Nagy both went 13-3, and it all went downhill from there, but it's not quite.
There we go. Yeah. Nice. You know what that season did at least do? It did kind of show which players like are typically like slow starters and which hitters like can't hit in cold weather will be the narrative. Like, there were some guys that like, you see Aramis wearing like the balaclava he would always wear and like have like 2 home runs in April every year. And you'd think like, all right, this guy, it's going to take a little bit for him to get going, but not exactly the case, that year.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the Cubs that year was the only guy who hit, actually the 2 guys who hit.
Yep.
Jason Hayward hit for the first like third of the season, like really well, to the point where people didn't notice that, like for the last 2/3, he was bad. He was as bad as he'd ever been.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ian Happ. Mm-hmm. And of course, Happ, that was it's the best season he ever had. It was only 60 games long. But then remember late in the season, he fouled a ball off his face.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that kind of derailed the rest of it. He hit a homer in the playoffs. They only scored 2 runs.
I was going to say, he had one nice moment in October there, but yeah.
So if there's a worldwide pandemic Ian Happ is the guy you want to get, no matter what the sport.
There we go.
He is pandemic. He is pandemic proof.
Oh man,
Dodgers would be calling Jed and offering up Shohei and Skubal to get Happ.
Yeah.
And Jed would be like, "Oh, are you fucking kidding? We want to win the World Series. We don't want those 2. We got Ian Happ."
Right. I guess since we brought him up, and I know we're wrapping up here, but now that he's in kind of a limited role, like, what do we think happens with him? End of the season. Does he potentially stay a Cub? Like, what other market would there be for Ian Happ at this point of his career if he's only a part-time player?
Well, I have on the ticker behind me that I don't know how in focus it ever is. One of the slides goes by, shows how many days Ian Happ has left on his contract.
Yeah, I don't like. Nice. I'm not sure what you're asking. Like, I don't think he's back.
No, he's done.
Done. Like retired after this year.
No. He'll sign with somebody else. I would guess he ends up with Pittsburgh or Cincinnati. Yeah. He's got connections in both towns. He's hit well in both parks. It's probably more Cincinnati than Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh seems to be actually building a team that they're like, we don't really need Ian Happ. Yeah. He will play again, but I do think the Cubs, the paranoid side of me this whole time has been like, oh, what if they just go like, well, the lockout stretches on, and it's like, let's just do one more year with you.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen. I think you've seen them kind of come to terms with the fact that, like, to me, it seems like a little thing, right? But them actually being like, well, we can't play him against lefties anymore.
Right.
That to me means, well, that's not a long-term solution at left field anymore. He doesn't tick any of the boxes. Like although you can say the same thing about Seiya, which concerns me a little bit. They're both on the wrong side of 30.
Right.
But the difference is Seiya's production seems to be steady.
Yeah.
And Happ's is clearly in decline. Even though they can talk about how consistent he is, he's going to get to the same numbers all the time. That's not really true. But also the way he gets to I've talked about this a million times. I don't need to belabor it. It's probably too late. The way he gets to those numbers makes it really hard on your offense.
Yeah.
Because there's these long, long stretches where he does nothing. And left field it should be an easy spot to put a bat in. Because you don't need to play any kind of defense out there. It's like,
right.
And so I feel like they are at the point now where they're like, they can save money by going younger out there. I really do think that it's either Ramirez or Shaw is going to play left field for them next year.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because they got to find a place for those guys to play.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think
it can't be third and it can't be second because those are locked up. So I think honestly, Bregman signing with the Cubs was probably eliminated the last chance for Happ to get a short contract to stay, because that eliminates a spot for one of the young, cheap, versatile players they have to play. Shaw's not your third baseman anymore. Pedro Ramirez can't be your third baseman. But I think left field seems like a place for either one of them.
Yeah, I do think that there is, and the way that Craig uses Pedro, there is like a super utility role for one of those guys. And I think that that's very valuable in the way that he's been using him. Like he's starting at third base again today and Bregman's DH.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that it took him as long as it did. Like, it seems like this was a kind of thing that, early in the year it should have been Shaw because he was the utility guy. But he still seemed very hesitant to use the DH spot. Maybe it's because he had Moises in it, and Moises hit really well for the first 6 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
But he wasn't using the DH spot to like rest Bregman or Dansby. He's just playing them all the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they'll tell you, well, there's lots of off days early in the season. The off day's the off day. They don't need other off days. But it's been nice to see as we got to the second half of the season that he's doing it all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
Like he's getting Bregman off his feet, or he's having Nico go play short and Dansby gets the day off, or Dansby DHs. And then the next day, I think he's done it twice now where Nico's going to play shortstop, and the next day Nico gets the day off. Like,
right.
Go play shortstop today, and then we'll rest you tomorrow, and then you'll be back in. And the reason they can do that is because Pedro is hitting.
Yeah.
Because they, there's
really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and I would guess that neither one of them went at the deadline. I would guess the plan next year is that one of them is the utility guy, and the other one's probably the left fielder.
Yeah.
Maybe and then it can be, they can both be utility guys, but one of them I think is going to play left, and the other one's going to be kicking somebody to DH for the day.
Yeah.
And that would also, I guess, make sense then why you would feel like, if that's your long-term strategy, that you don't need Ballesteros to be your DH.
Right.
Because your DH is going to be one of the older guys rotating through to get off their feet.
Right. And you've got an actual bench now. At that point, like, you've got good players on your bench who can spot start. And that's pretty
They've had benches before. Remember when they had John Birdie and Vidal Brujan and
Justin Turner,
I was trying to remember, and I remembered the fact that Scott Kingery played on this team this year.
Yeah.
At the slowest pinch hitter. I love it. It's like Craig put him in one day to pinch hit, and then there was a hit into the gap, and Craig's like, oh, he's not fast at all.
No.
Well, shit.
No.
Why did I pinch run him? We don't need this guy.
The thing I wonder about with Happ is, like, because he loves Chicago so much, is he going to be not even taking like the qualifying offer? Would he take like a discount offer to stay for like 1 year, 10 million or something like that? And would that price the Cubs in on him to do that? And if that's the case,
I think he's just in the way next year now.
Maybe.
I think there was a way, like if I think Pedro Ramirez makes this far more possible than if he didn't turn out to be good. Right.
Right.
because if you want to play Shaw and Ramirez next year, it's really hard to have the aging left fielder there in the way. And I think the fact that you get down in a pennant race and he's now a platoon player means it's like, all right, well, that's like, we can go find a far cheaper version of Ian Happ somewhere else. And I think Happ will get, there's plenty of dumb teams. There's some team that's going to look at it and go, oh, it's a 4-time Gold Glove winner. There's some team that'll really impress. And he'll get a decent, he's not going to make a lot of money, but he'll get, he's not going to have to take a discount to go somewhere. He's going to get overpaid by something.
No, he'll make a perfect White Sox.
But I think it's
you can stay in Chicago and you go play for the
there you go. Possibly with the White Sox. There you go. But I do think there is something to him like really loving being a Cub and really loving being in Chicago where he would do that. And if that is the case,
but he has to get the offer. You can't hold him hostage.
He's
just going to go out after the last game of the season. He's going to take a chair and sit in the left field all winter. And so I'm not leaving. This is my spot. I'm staying.
Right. No, I mean,
I got dibs. He's gonna he'll put a dining room chair on left.
He'll have the dibs out there when it's.
I got dibs on left.
Yes.
Nobody move that chair.
Exactly.
It's my spot.
No, but I guess. Look,
I'm not going to humor you on this, Praz. I'm already tired of talking about it.
It's not even being. It's not even humoring about it.
I made the decision. He's not coming back.
Okay, Jed Hoyer.
Jed will ask me.
Jed Hoyer.
Mike Cerami and I will talk to Carter, and we'll be like, okay, that's it. We're done. The Happ thing is over.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for the Bleacher Nation guys when he leaves, though, because he is, they certainly like him.
Yeah.
That's probably who their source is.
Well, and all the buddies.
It would be funny if it turned out it was Ian Happ. Yeah.
All of his buddies out in the bleachers that got me thrown out about a year ago today.
Yeah.
From that game. Yeah.
All because one game a year he wraps a couple $100 around a baseball and chucks it into the stands.
Right,
That's all it takes.
Right. Exactly.
That's all it takes. Buy us one round of beers and we'll love you forever.
Exactly.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, that's enough.
The Gossman and Holmes fan club.
Yes. And the Tyrone Taylor fan club.
The only question is which one of them is the World Series MVP. That's what they're both pitching for now. Which one's going to be the World Series MVP?
Dare to dream. Hey, listen, it's going to be the most unlikely candidate of them all, Braxton Garrett, World Series MVP.
Turd Ferguson.
Or Turd Ferguson.
Turd just got a big out in the 7th.
He did.
Yep, he's still around. Craigie's still using him.
By the way, I don't know if you just happen to see. I don't know if you happen to see them flash the camera over to the bullpen right now. We may get our first action of Ryan Zefferjohn tonight.
Zefferjohn is coming in.
There he is.
Yep.
He's a big man.
Yep.
With a big pair of pants.
Many of us have herpes.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
It's fitting. It's got to be done with one of the best games of all time. Just unbelievable. I mean, got to congratulate the Dolan family.
Thank you. Sean, my podcast co-host Andy, you were his favorite player growing up.
Oh, thank you so much, awesome. Andy.